In my hands today I have the all-new TaylorMade P790. Now this is the third generation of the P790, TaylorMade's forged player's distance iron. And, you know, is it a lot better than the first and second generations, or is it more the same? Is that a good thing? Well, in this video I'm going to let you know everything about the brand new design. I'll let you know how I got on taking them out in the golf course, how they performed. First off though, before I delve into everything, if you're new to our YouTube channel, please hit the subscribe button below, give us a thumbs up if you enjoy this video. If you have any questions, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. It was 4 years ago that TaylorMade first launched the P790. You know, a bit of a revolutionary iron. It really launched that player's distance category, something that delivered the kind of feel that a better player wants, the look, the refined aesthetics, the kind of top lines, offset, everything that a better player wants, the kind of control, but crucially gave, you know, almost game improvement style performance in a package that looks this good. 2 years later we had the updated model, you know, just making little improvements across the board, refining the looks, yeah, just that little improvement. And then this year we have again just refinements. They are just improving the design that little bit. You know, it just looks in my eye more like the P770, you know, sibling rival, and as you can see it's just a stunning looking iron. But under the hood, have TaylorMade gone and reinvented the wheel? Have they changed a lot? Well, no, and that's really a good thing. This is an iron that caters for so many players, from, you know, even scratch golfers to people in the low 20s. It's got such a broad level of appeal. So TaylorMade thought we better not stray too far from what has made this iron so popular, but crucially they wanted to improve things. They wanted to make design improvements to try and give you some more performance and also just make it look that little bit better. Now, speed foam, a key technology in the P790, has been refined this time around. We actually have a new variation of it called speed foam air. Now, TaylorMade are saying this is 69% less dense than the speed foam that came before, which has allowed them to free up some weight. 3 grams might not sound like a lot, but can make a big difference. Just allow them to tweak the CG locations, try and incorporate some more tungsten weighting, try and give you higher launch, greater forgiveness. You know, as you can see, we've got, you know, it's just a stunning looking package. It looks fantastic. We have through slot speed pocket. We have a high strength fast forged face, which is allowed to flex impact. That's one of the reasons why this thing produces such great speed and distance. Now, TaylorMade, they also saved weight by using a new thin wall construction in the carbon steel body. Just again, trying to save weight. It's a hollow body iron. They're trying to save weight, trying to put the weight where they want, low down, you know, in the longer irons to give you that higher launch, locate the CGs where they want in the shorter irons to give you more precise control. And yeah, it just, as I say, they haven't gone and reinvented the wheel because they know what this iron does so well. It's a great performer, it delivers so much for so many golfers, but crucially they've tried to tweak it where they could. They've tried to make improvements, and that should show out on the golf course. Part of what makes the P790 appealing to so many golfers is the looks. You know, from scratch golfers all the way up to people in sort of the low 20s, they'll look at this iron and think, yes, it's a player's iron, but it has that bit of forgiveness in there. You can tell there's technology in there to try and give you a bit of help. Top line relatively thin, not a lot of offset, you know, and it's just, you know, it's the kind of iron that just will fill you with confidence, but has great looks. Lovely stuff. Now, of course, a lot of the emphasis on the feel with the P790s is to do with speed foam. With new speed foam air, you know, it's still delivering that soft sound for an iron with so much technology. For a hollow body iron, it's just maintaining that kind of sound and feel that a better player would really be searching for. You know, it's not quite like a one-piece forging, but it's not a million miles off. It sounds and feels nice. And another reason why it feels nice is its turf interaction. You know, even though it's, you know, the sole isn't that wide, but there's a bit more to it, it's still cutting through the turf today really easily. And I think that just plays into why it feels so nice. You're getting good turf interaction, but also with the speed foam you're getting a nice sound. So it just all plays into making it feel like a player's iron should. Of course, one of the big appeals with the 790 is the speed on offer, the power it delivers. You know, they're long irons, they're going to give you some added distance over something like, you know, the P7MB or the P7MC. The hollow body construction, the through slot speed pocket, the fast force face that's allowed to flex, it just means you're going to get additional ball speed, which, you know, at times like this, puff a breeze into, it's about 190 yards to the pin. You know, with my P7MC, I'd really be looking at trying to button a 4-iron, really nail it. Whereas I can take the 6-iron here with the P790 and just probably, you know, I'll need to hit it good, but it's got the distance, it's got the legs, it should get there, no bother at all. Yeah, just cutting through that wee breeze, really nice. And yeah, on the green, it cuts through, gives you that added bit of help, that added bit of distance that, you know, how many golfers are looking for distance? Most of us. So it's just one of the huge benefits of having the 790 in your bag. We also have a new P790 UDI. I've got the 2-iron here, and this is just, it's ideal on a day like this. You know, driver isn't working too well, I'm looking to find these tight fairways. This is just an absolute powerhouse. You know, it's pretty much the exact same construction. We've got a hybrid shaft, graphite shaft in here though, just to help with the launch conditions, help with the performance. But everything about this design, the speed foam air, the through slot speed pocket, the fast flexible forged face, it's all pretty much the exact same. And it's just, for the better player, what a great looking utility iron. Really thin top line. You can only just about see something out the back of the golf club, but it's, you know, I think for that better player, those of you who consider yourselves a bit of a ball striker, this is just like your dream utility iron in terms of shaping. Looks so good. But crucially, it does have a bit of, you know, give in it. It does have a decent level of forgiveness. And it's just ideal. Day like this, just launch it down the middle. Ideal. Now, I'll run through some numbers I got with both the first, second and third generation. I was testing 4-irons, those are the only ones that I have with me here today in terms of the models. But as you can see, you know, I'm getting just those little bits of increased speed with each generation, which is giving me a little bit of added carry distance. You know, that's, they say you can expect that. Just the improvements they've made with the design should give you a little bit more distance. If you were someone who had the original P790, you might start to see a bit of a performance improvement. It's maybe something that you want to look at upgrading. I think if you've got the one from 2 years ago, you know, there might not be a big enough jump, but it's crucial that you go and get fitted, see what these irons can do for you, see what improvements you can see. Another big thing for me was the fact that the spin rate was actually a little bit higher with this new version, which for me is something that I was really pleased to see. It was giving me that feeling of added control. You know, I think sometimes maybe, especially with that first generation, you could maybe get that hot one, that one that just flies off the club face and goes maybe 5 yards, 10 yards further than you were hoping or expecting it to. You're over the back of the green. Really not found that with the new model. I've just found it to be that little bit more controllable. Seems like the landing angle is just that little bit steeper, more controlled, acting more like a player's iron, but crucially, still getting that forgiveness, still getting that speed. So some final thoughts. And first off, it's just the looks department. TaylorMade, you know, they've knocked out the park once again. They've just refined it. It's that kind of minimalist design that will appeal to pretty much any golfer out there. I challenge any not to think that's a great looking iron. Again, down behind the ball, it's going to have a large level of appeal, unless you're someone who just is dead set on playing a classic blade. This is going to suit your eye. You know, it's only probably a few players that wouldn't like the overall shaping of this because it's got a thin top line, not that much offset, but crucially, it looks visually forgiving. It's a bit confidence inspiring. Performance-wise, can't fault it whatsoever. Great out in the golf course, great testing on the range. It was just doing everything I expect of a P790. And it's more of the same, but that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all. They've stuck with what they're good at and they've tried to make little improvements across the board. And it shows up. If you were someone who had the original P790, you're probably going to start to see some gains. And yeah, it's just those small tweaks that can make a big difference. So yeah, impressive work from TaylorMade. One of the best players distance irons in the business, and it will continue to be so. So if you have any questions about the P790, just leave them in the comments and I'll get back to you. Do not forget to subscribe to our channel, and if you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, and thank you for watching.